Hi, everybody. My name is Jillian and I'm an early intervention teacher with the Foundation for Blind Children.
And my name is Michelle Palmer, and I'm also an early intervention teacher from FBC.
So today we created a little PowerPoint slide for you to go over some different activities for Easter that you guys can do at home with your kids during this time of social distancing. So we tried to come up with activities that hopefully you have this stuff at home and it'll be easy and fun for all your students, not just necessarily your kiddos with visual impairments. So here we go. So the first one are egg shakers. Egg shakers are good all year round, but especially, I guess, appropriate for Easter time. So many different options and concepts that can be used with these egg shakers. You can fill them with pretty much anything that you have around the house: rice, beans, quinoa, cotton balls, buttons, beads, so many things. But do keep in mind that you should do a ring of tape around the edges so they don't burst open, and then you have little pieces everywhere. Now, these activities can be used with a wide range of children. For kiddos that can't necessarily hold on to themselves, you can be doing the activity and doing it on their body, on any part of their body, their belly, their back, so they don't have to hold them themselves. But these are just some concepts that you can do. You know, you can shake the egg really fast, and then you can go slow, fast and slow. Body parts, you can sing the head, shoulders, knees, and toe song while shaking the eggs on those body parts. You can say, put the egg on your head, put it on your feet. High and low, you can shake the egg high, you can shake the egg low. Right, left, go and stop. Kids usually really like that one. Same and different. So when you fill it up with something, do two of the same. So do 2 beans, and then do 2 cotton balls, and see if you can find the ones that sound the same and the ones that sound different. And then also loud and quiet. And also just keep in mind that if you're having fun with the activity, the kid is gonna have fun. So just be crazy. Don't be afraid to just be crazy and have fun, because your kid is gonna have fun if you're having fun.
Okay, our next slide is on sensory bins, which we are a huge fan of. Most of the pictures you can see are Easter-based. We are suggesting you could use rice or oats or Easter grass or Cheerios or raffia straw or jelly beans as your base for the sensory bin, and you can add items for discriminating, which could include mini carrots or the mini pom-poms that you can get from the craft store, or even the colored pom-poms, plastic eggs. Those are some of the Easter ideas, but you could certainly use any kind of small object that has some different characteristic than the base of which you're filling the sensory bin with. Some activities that we're suggesting you might do could be things like sorting the objects. So you could put all the bunnies in one container, all the plastic eggs in another container to work on concepts like same and different. You could use various utensils for transferring items into other containers. So like tongs or tweezers or spoons or chopsticks to transfer some of the grass or your bases into another type of container. Another activity you could do is counting the objects, identifying the colors of all the objects. You could talk about concepts like measuring using more and less. And what else? There's most of these pictures have, I think, all of our ideas. The other is the upper left picture with the egg cartons, where you put the base of your plastic Easter egg, and then you can have your child match with the top of that egg, so for color matching.
Perfect. Okay, and the next one is light box fun. Some of you may have a light box that one of your early intervention teacher of the visually impaired has brought to your house, but if not, there's some do-it-yourself light box. So basically this is just a large clear container, like an under bed storage, or even like a little shoebox would work as long as the top is clear. And you would just put a like a big push light in there, or even some white Christmas lights, anything to make it illuminate. And if you don't have that, you can also use like the sliding glass door in your house, or a window that is accessible for your child. So we have, these are those gel clings that you can buy for pretty much for any holiday. I love to put those on the light box, and for some of the kids are just going to be looking at them and examining them, visually checking them out. Some of the other kids, they can create their own little, you know, story with them. And you could also work on concepts such as, you know, giving them an egg and saying, put the egg next to the rabbit, or put the carrot on top of the basket. So there's lots of different ideas there. And it's also sensory because they're kind of sticky, and some of our kids really struggle with that texture. Then the other one here is a sensory gel bag. So that you just put some hair gel in a Ziploc bag, put some items in the bag, put it on the light box. This is great for the kids to messy play, but without getting their hands really messy. So you can put confetti in here, Easter confetti. You can put those little fuzz ducks and rabbits that Michelle was talking about. So basically anything that you can put in a sensory bin that Michelle just talked about, you could easily put into the gel pad. You could work on fine motor skills, isolating the finger, writing their initials in there, drawing shapes, so many options. And then this one is just those eggs. Once again, just throw them on the light box. You can split them apart. You can do color matching. You can add buttons. You can count the buttons. You can drop the eggs into a container on the light box. There's just so many options. And then this one is just messy play on a light box. Throw some whipped cream, throw pudding, so many options, even some Jell-O onto that light box, and let them explore it. The light is just going to be a motivator for most of our kids, and then throw some eggs in there as well, or any other objects onto that light box, and let them just have fun.
Okay, so our next sense page has one of our favorite activities, which is using the under the bed storage boxes to place your child's whole body in a sensory box, basically. So you get to experience it not just with the hands, but on their legs, and if they choose to lay on it or roll in it, it's super fun. The picture on the right shows the muffin, those placing items in for kids to work on using their pass. Use either the bean base or the jelly bean base or the cereal base, whatever you have, and teach kids how to use their thumb and pointer finger to work of filling up the little trays of the muffin tin. Another activity is using pipe cleaners for stringing pieces of cereal. Another fun suggestion we have on a hunt in your utensil drawer to search for items to scoop and talk about what these tools are used for. So they could find a spoon or find a ladle or find large tongs to use to manipulate all the objects in the sensory bins that we've got shown. And then also while you're doing that, obviously you want to use vocabulary to label the activities that you're doing. So if you're opening and closing the tongs or you're scooping with the spoons, really important to label all those activities that you're doing. You can talk about how different items that are placed in the eggs, so the plastic eggs, use the vocabulary to label like what they're hearing and how it sounds, if it's a loud sound when you shake it. Let's see, you can also talk about like the different smells that some of these have. The picture in the upper is a fun one. It's a brown sugar kinetic sand make there that we have at the end of our slides to show you how to make that. And then the picture in this is the kind of an edible water bead, and just tapioca curls or Israeli couscous, and it feels very similar to the water beads, which are not edible. These are edible and therefore not dangerous to play with.
All right, so something we wanted to point out is any activity that you do, just try to make it a multi-sensory activity. You know, try to connect their vision, if they have any usable vision, with their smell, with their sound, and just trying to meet all of those sensory needs with any of these activities. All right, so most of the time we like to do Easter egg hunts with our kiddos, and these are just some simple little things to help them be more accessible for our kiddos. So the first one is use auditory clues to find the eggs. So have another person near the egg, or even yourself if you don't need to help your child navigate. Go over by the egg and give them auditory clues. You know, make a whistling sound, or put their favorite song onto your phone, and just give them that cue they need. You can also use the positional terminology here, like, oh, you need to go to your left, you need to go to your right, or you need to reach your hands up. Even if they're not yet fully understanding those words, just really using them all the time so they get used to those. And also talk about how the music or the sound that you're making gets louder as they get closer to the egg. So that just is teaching them some early O&M skills as well. Balloons, tying balloons to eggs. So this gives kids just a bigger target to see the eggs. And then also glow in the dark eggs here. So these are battery lighted tea lights that you can buy. Most dollar stores sell them. You throw them in your plastic eggs, you throw them out either at night in the grass or in your house in the dark, and you have an Easter egg hunt, glow in the dark. You could probably use some glow sticks here as well. I'm just not sure they would be bright enough. And the last one is don't do hunts, or do hunts that don't require movement. So some of our kids, movement is a really hard thing for them to do, and you just want them to experience the Easter egg hunt. So wrap an Easter egg up in some wrapping paper. You know, they still have to find the egg, you know, and it works on fine motor skills and ripping and tearing the paper. You could also put an egg inside of a container and have them work on twisting off the lid or lifting up the lid. And then for these other Easter eggs, you could just limit the size of your Easter egg hunt. Maybe instead of doing your whole backyard, just limit the eggs to a little grass patch. Or instead of doing your whole house, just really zone in on one room of the house, so it's kind of lessens their space that they have to look in.
Okay, this page is our edible Easter play activities, and these are good multisensory activities where we're using multi-senses also to label and identify. The first one on the left is Jell-O jigglers, so they're cutting out using the cookie cutters, and then the one on the upper right is poured molds of Jell-O, so that's a good fun activity. And then the one in the middle is one of my favorite, that's using or peeps to make slime. And this is a really fun activity because you can tie this into using all 5 of the senses when playing with marshmallows. So you can smell them, you can taste them, you can tap them and see what they sound like. So you're utilizing all of your senses kind of to the marshmallow while you're making the slime. And again, we have recipe at the end. Another fun one is, which is a bit messy, but is making Rice Krispie treats. If you coat your hands in butter and add a little bit of water to your hands, they aren't sticky. So after it's cooled, you can manipulate them and use it kind of like Play-Doh, where you can make balls out of it or make a little sculpture out of it while it's soft and pliable. And then when it's starting to get firmed up, you can use it to cut out with cookie cutters, or even just cut it out. And then the child can then play with that solid, more solid form of the Rice Krispie treat. Certainly you want to make sure that they're all cool before you're allowing your kiddos to play with them. I think that was all for those slides.
Right. All right, so this last slide is just these are the recipes that Michelle talked about: the kinetic sand on the sensory box, the water beads, edible water beads, the Jell-O jigglers, and the Peeps marshmallow edible slime. So that's all there for you. And then also we just posted some websites that we like to look on to get ideas, and where we got a lot of our ideas today. Wonderbaby.org is a great website. for kiddos with visual impairments. A Different Kind of Vision is a blog by Robin Keating Clark, who actually is an employee at the foundation as well. Pinterest. If you can find an activity on Pinterest, you can find a way to adapt it to meet your child's needs. Always reach out to your early intervention TVI if you need any help with that. And Pathway to Literacy and Family Connect are also just great websites for information on ways to help your child with a vision need.
All right, thanks for joining us. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us. And if you take pictures of you and your kids doing some of these fun activities, send them to us at the foundation. Our emails are below. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.